make money if I wasn't an influencer and didn't have businesses. I'm going to cover all kinds of business stuff as well as financial opinions and different things in this video. It's kind of a rant, so stick with me or don't. Either way, let's get into it. Taking out the option to run my own business, there really is only one way to make money, and that is to go get a job. I would probably go work for a construction company because that's what I have the most demonstratable skill in. Or maybe marketing of some kind, but I'd get bored. For the majority of my adult life, I've worked for myself. I've started my own businesses from nothing and grew them into something that would produce an income. I'd just start another business, possibly a construction company. There's a ton of different options out there. I don't know which I'd actually end up settling with. If I absolutely had to just get a regular job, I'd probably get something seasonal, preferably in the summertime. If I'm no longer running these businesses, I can cut my overhead way back and live on almost nothing. The first thing I did when this business started making money is pay off all my debt and get no more of it. That includes this thing, and I'd sell it in a heartbeat if I needed money for any reason. I love it, but if I go broke, it's gotta go. If I drop the TRX off my auto insurance policy, my auto insurance on my other vehicles for the rest of the year is about $400 a year. My land taxes are like $650 a year. I can get rid of my Starlink and cell phone bills and just use this hotspot. It's like $23 a month, and I can just do Wi-Fi calling when I'm near it. Cell service is kind of useless around here anyway. The only reason I really have it is for when I'm in town somewhere and I'm not near Wi-Fi. The other kind of big expense I have is my solar array. It doesn't cost anything per month, but I do need to maintain it and replace components, and I think about $1,000 a year is what I should be setting back in order to do that. A half-mile driveway of gravel is kind of expensive too, but I could just let it go and keep an old beat-up truck, and probably 10 years from now, I still don't have to worry with it. I'd just let it get ruts and potholes and go down to the creek and fill up a cart full of rocks and just put them in the big ones and call it a day. Food is certainly an expense. I'd still buy some sort of food. But if I had a job with just 40 hours a week and it was seasonal, I have no doubt I could grow, gather, forage all the food I need off the land here. If I'm not running a business that's generating good income, then I can use my excess time from not running that business to save money wherever I can. I do buy a certain amount of gasoline. It's really nothing to speak of. If I do get a job, I'm going to be driving back and forth to work all the time, so my gas bill will increase, but that would also mean I'm bringing in income to cover it, or at least the type of job I get better do that. I've also got animal food too, but I can also, again, do things off the land to cut back on that. I'm just struggling to come up with expenses I need to pay. I'm just not thinking of stuff. I really don't have that many personal expenses. Everything my business has bought has been paid for in full. Most things I bought last year, including this ATV, the income it has generated for me has exceeded the purchase price of it. I very rarely buy anything for the business that doesn't generate income for me. I don't think I really look like I live frugally anymore, but I do. I live well below my means. My business lives below its means. I still have a frugal mindset and feel like I do live frugally. It just looks so weird when you can literally buy things that are expensive or luxurious, knowing that they'll pay for themselves just because you bought them. Well, that's not totally accurate. There's a fair amount of work that goes into making them pay for themselves. I have no idea if this truck ever will or not, but so far I'm fighting the depreciation on it, covering the insurance. Helps that I didn't buy it brand new and it's 3 years old and somebody else took the biggest depreciation hits on it for me. I've never run a business quite like the one I'm running now, and anything based off of social media I would consider a very high risk business. That's why just about everything I purchase, anything I invest towards the business, like, it's got to have a 1 to 2 year payoff, or like, yeah, I can't just be like, oh, this will pay for itself in 10 years. This might not be around in 10 years. The whole landscape of social media is guaranteed to change in 10 years. A lot of people that make a bunch of money on social media don't really have tangible life skills that they can translate into some sort of decent income without the social media. I have diverse skills that would allow me to get jobs doing multiple things if I really needed, but I have a dedication and drive that most employers won't actually be able to reward, or I can't even convince them that, like, I have it. I just don't test well, I don't interview well. What I do really well is plan to do something and then execute that plan. Since it's difficult to convince anyone that I have that skill set, I just run my own businesses and am just successful that way. Wow, that wind really picked up for a while there, didn't it? I gotta shout out my microphone shield for doing so well at keeping the audio clear. That would be this Bushcraft microphone shield. You probably saw it in my sunglasses earlier. Anyway, When I started homesteading, I wasn't sure whether I was going to make most of everything I needed out here off of the land or whether I was going to use money to accelerate the process. I found a way to make money faster than I can make anything else off of the property, so that's what I ended up doing. Most of what I'm making, I'm hanging on to, besides the IRS taxes, but I'm hanging on to it to put a house right there, a garage right there, and I'll probably throw up a barn, like a pole barn, like there maybe, and I'll have a greenhouse at some point. And then I'm pretty much done. I could keep on expanding and just make this property like an entire empire, but I'm just gonna quit at some point and be like, all right, that's enough, and that's pretty much the point. By the time all that's done, I should be able to go back to minimal expenses, just make videos for fun, a hobby, which, I mean, this is fun, this is a hobby, but I found a way to make it generate income. I can forget about the generating income part of it. The beard care products I sell, the coffee, the different things at narrowwayhomestead.com, hopefully that generates enough revenue to just pay my monthly bills, which it really should, even if I completely quit mentioning it on social media. Then after all that, I'm hoping to have enough left over for one more cool project, and that would be 20, 30 acres somewhere, another homestead. I want to set it up like a homestead school where people are like, I want a homestead, I want to live off the land. Okay, cool. Come here for 3 to 6 months, live here, experience the lifestyle, find an older couple maybe that's been homesteading their entire life, let them be there and be the teachers, if you will, just oversee everything, make sure, give them some pointers, make sure they're not doing dangerous stuff. I think I can do it where the cost will be fairly low to actually go and live that way. However, I'm not sure if I can accommodate demand at all whatsoever or not. If I keep the cost down, that means more people will want to do that, and that means I need a bigger area. But I don't really know if I want more than 20 or 30 people at a time, attempting to homestead on a plot of land and practicing and all that stuff. I think I've got myself pretty well figured out at this point, and I just love running businesses, and I'll probably never quit. And hopefully having some kind of homestead over there gives me enough feeling of running a business, people in and out, people learning stuff. I'd go over there and help them out too, while still retaining my own privacy on my own homestead. If not, I'll find myself starting some other business, who knows what, and just running that. I don't know. I like running businesses. It's just in my nature, apparently. But at some point, I got to figure out how to tell myself to take a chill pill and just relax if I can. Just split some firewood, load the wood stove, take care of some animals, wander around in nature, make a couple videos, keep my expenses so low that money really isn't anything I need to go crazy trying to acquire. Then I think I can consider myself fully retired. And I know a lot of people talk about, setting up stuff for retirement, and you might have to go to nursing homes and hospital visits and medical issues and all this stuff. And I don't know, at some point, it's just okay, I'm just going to grow old until I don't grow old anymore. And maybe I'll end up dying of something that would have been preventable if I'd have been next to a hospital getting all these checkups all the time. But I just don't see me doing that. Nah. I'll just live until I live no more, and then look back on life and be like, well, my life could have been extended maybe by 10 years by doing something differently, but my quality of life was so high that I don't care about those last 10 years I could have had. I've seen people living in and out of hospitals and care all the time for years, and it just looks awful to me. And maybe if I get to that point, maybe I'll totally change my mind, and that'll be what I decide to do. It's let me just preserve my life another 6 months, another year. Maybe I'll do that, but I don't think so. But I can't really say until I'm actually in that position. Anyway, if you wanted an insight into how I view money, how I view businesses, what drives me to do all that stuff, where I'm stopping the homestead and not, continuing it into an empire, there it all is for you. If you like this video, hit the like and subscribe. I mostly do short form videos, but sometimes on topics like this, there's just no way I can make an actual short form video on it and not be completely misinterpreted or just leave out a ton of information. So thanks for watching.